Without a shadow of a doubt, I want to welcome you to the Crunkest show in social media history. It's the War Zone. Get on the phone and call somebody and tell them the great one is in the building, and you know who I am. They call me the 5-star general. It's not a name I gave to myself. It's a name the people gave to me. You feel what I'm saying? And I embrace it. I honor it. I stay in wars with different entities, especially dirty elected officials. Last few nights, we've been going all in on HISD, and I said, well, why stop there? Why stop there? We have a plethora of things I want to talk about tonight with the Houston Independent School District. I want to shock some people again. I need to put them to work. There's a lot of money being made, and a lot of people are not working hard enough to earn that money. So I'm going to drop a few nuggets tonight and see if I can get y'all moving so that we can actually see where our tax dollars is really going. All right? Well, we can see where our tax dollars is really going. There's been a lot of issues with the Houston Independent School District in regards to testing. Last year, we saw a lot of schools, that passed the STAR test. And a lot of it seemed a little strange to me. I will say that much. There are some people in some schools that were not forthcoming. I'm trying to go slow. I'm trying to let people get in here. And at the same time, I'm looking for something. I know where it's at. And I want to touch on that tonight. I've been saying for a minute that I know schools that actually cheated on a STAR test. But tonight, I'm going to give you some of them. Now, it doesn't matter to me if you believe me or not. But I know what I know. And it is what it is. Mathematically speaking, the last time I did this, it turned out to be the truth. And that was with Peck Elementary when I unloaded a bunch of information. And even though I unloaded a bunch of information, and by the way, I got my Cold Bush bill with me. And even though I unloaded a bunch of information, the district still tried to go behind me and clean up some things. So I'm not really going to show you what I got. I'm going to give it to the right people. So what I want you to do before we get this started, let's push the share button on your video. Everybody push the share button. Share this to your different groups. Hold on a second. Let me go up in here and make sure that I can do what I need to do. Hold on. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so now I want to share it to some groups. You want to share it to your groups, that's fine. I'm going to share it to mine. All right. There we go. All right. I want to talk about the cheating on the STAR test. Because we want to hold people to a standard. We want to hold principals to a standard. We want to hold administrators to a standard. And we want to hold district officials to a standard. Even our kids are held to a standard. But state mandated tests are something that you cannot play with. So I know a lot of times State Senator Paul Bencourt is watching this. He's concerned about education in HISD. I know that somehow it gets up to the TEA commission and Maybe the governor himself is watching tonight, because I need you to figure out what the hell is going on down here. See, I'm going to tell you something. I had a long talk with somebody today, over 2 hours, and I'm really a peaceful person. I'm solution oriented. But when you push my back against a wall, I'll come off that wall swinging. I will come off that wall swinging with everything in my power. Now, I also told that person that I spoke with for over 2 hours that the superintendent of the Houston Independent School District is not built to handle me. Nobody on his team is built to handle me. So the last time I talked about cheating on the STAR test, it actually ended up being true. It actually ended up being true. So tonight, last year, you had a lot of schools that made a lot of gains. And when they made those gains, it was crazy. But one school that sticks out the most is Osborne Elementary, which moved from a 59, which was an F in 2019, to a 96, which is an A. Mathematically impossible. It's not possible, dude. I'm gonna go real slow for you. It can't happen. So if the Houston Independent School District didn't think it was strange, nobody does an investigation, and TEA can't really get off into it. So I'm letting the cat out the bag tonight. Osborne Elementary cheated on the STAR test. Mr. Superintendent, go do your fucking job. Get your people to do their jobs. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity. And if I see no movement, I'm going to bust your ass. Oh, I ain't taking this to Kim All. Nah. You know who I'm taking it to. So let's see if you got the nuts to go get your own people when you knew they cheated on the STAR test. Yeah, y'all know. Let's go over. Let's see. I'm looking for something, so let's see. So let's let the cat out the bag tonight. Let's let the cat out the bag. Lois Bullock, energized for STEM in district charter schools. No matter how many, and here's the crazy part about Lois. She actually has a school that doesn't exist. We figured that out. The district knew when they got the vendor that was, doing some unethical things over there with Lois Bullock. They got rid of the vendor, but they didn't address the Lois Bullock side. And the Lois Bullock side was she has a school that doesn't exist. So that means the district is paying her for kids that don't exist. Figured out how you switch in the student ID numbers around, all that. And for y'all that don't know, I turned all that over to the district. They know exactly what I'm talking about. But of course, they like to play like they have selective amnesia. I turned this all over to them. Turn this all over to them. But we talking about cheating on the STAR test. Lois Bullock. Not only did you cheat, you forced your people to cheat. And if you don't cheat and you happen to be working here on a visa from another country, she would get you sent back home. So you have a major problem, HISD, or energized for STEM. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I check something. Energized for STEM. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Energized for STEM. I don't know how many schools Lois got at this point, Could be 2, could be 3, but I know one of them don't fucking exist. It don't exist. How you got somebody running charter schools that don't exist? Did this happen while House was here? Yeah. Was this going on when Latham was here? Yeah. We pay a whole lot of tax money for motherfuckers not to be knowing what's going on. So you have, let me go in here because I want to make sure that we get it right. Okay. One, two, three. Let's go here. One, two, three, 4. Let's make sure. If Lois Bullock has 4 schools, 3 to 4 schools, I bet my hat. And the reason I say 3 to 4 is because one doesn't exist. That all of them cheated on the STAR test. Every last one of them. But Osborne Elementary, mathematically speaking, what they did, they could not do. It's not possible. So I'm just not going to throw it out there and don't have the shit to back it up. Yeah, I got it. I can back it up. And, you know, the sad part is they're cheating these children out of a decent education. So we started off with the cheating on the STAR test. So now I want to say this. A lot of people had their panties in a bunch because I posted pictures. And people don't even realize that probably is not even that man shit in that house. But I posted, ain't nothing like some good marshmallows and a cold beer. I posted pictures of where we're going to be doing the protest. And some people, why are you putting this house on the internet? Why are you doxing him? I ain't doxing nobody. Shit, public record. Why are y'all going to protest him? Because I fucking can't. But ain't nothing you can do about it. And you know what I like the most about all of this, the war zone and protesting? I get to say what y'all can't say. I get to do the things that y'all can't do. So we are gonna protest him. And I'm gonna show you, because the one thing I ain't gonna do is hide nothing. Let's go in here. Let's go right here. This is where we will be protesting Friday, 9 a.m. This is where we will be protesting Friday, 9 a.m. This is the inside of where we'll be protesting Friday at 9 a.m. This is beautiful. This is nice. It's Kipling. It ain't the CUNY homes, I can tell you that. Yeah. So all this is staged. All this is staged. Yeah. This is nice. Yeah. Beautiful. Let's look at it, man. Just look at it. Off the chain, ain't it? This is what your tax money pay for. This is what your tax money pays for. So when y'all paying $4,000 and $5,000 a year in taxes, this is what it pays for. Yes, sir. A superintendent spot. Yeah. This is what it pays for. Let's look at it. Beautiful, ain't it? Yeah. Walk-in closets and all that shit. Look at that, man. Off the chain, baby. Wait till you get to the outside. That's just beautiful, ain't it? Yeah, just beautiful. Look at that spiraling staircase. Garage. And, yeah, man. Look at the pool and yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful there, man. That's Kipling. Yeah, that's Kipling there, baby. That's Kipling. So people say, man, why did you put that up? Why do people ask me, why did I put the pictures up? We have teachers that have to work 3 and 4 jobs just to make ends meet. Just to make ends meet. Our superintendent lives high on the hog. Some people say he's earned it. I don't know. But I tell you what, my teachers ain't living like that. My kids in these ragged ass schools ain't living like that. Oh, well, the schools were run down before he got here. I don't give a fuck. It's his job to fix it. And even if they are run down, make sure the kids got what they need. See, if everybody had what they needed, wouldn't be a need to protest. Wouldn't be a need to say anything. If everybody had what they needed, but everybody in the administration office, they got what they needed. They got their friends working in there, nepotism running wild, you know. But the really hard workers, they don't get to live like that. They don't get to live like that. By the time you rape them with the taxes and the TRS, and then you hit them with the insurance, that's $61,000. Shit. Right around 56. And these people are scratching to survive. Don't be a goddamn bus driver in HISD, because you definitely ain't finna make no money. Don't be a plant operator who keeps the school running every day, because you definitely ain't gonna make no money. You're not valued. So your union people that's lying to you like you are valued, you're not. Because until all of us can live like that, it ain't fair that none of us do. I have watched this shit show called the Houston Independent School District long enough. And I'm going to be honest with you. Some people say, Monroe, you got your finger on the new clip button. You goddamn right I do. But unlike some presidents that have ran these countries and these foreign countries, I ain't scared to push the button. So, to answer some questions, why are we protesting at his house? 1, because we can. 2, because he missed his window of opportunity to meet the community because we were not important. At least he gave the T.H. Rogers parents, some respect and went over there to talk to them about their issue. He just basically shits on the black community. When he visits our schools, he's there for 5 or 10 minutes, then he's gone. Why are we protesting him? Because he needs to resign or they need to buy him out. It is too much that has gone on under this man's leadership for us to be able to continue this facade. Hold on. Okay, so let's go in here because I want to be able to tell you some things that really irked me. People ask why we're protesting. If you don't know, go to my page. The actual press release is on my page for the protest in front of his house Friday morning. Why are we protesting? For 18 months, every plan brought forward by his team has failed. Every plan they brought forward failed. He's attacked the special ed kids at T.H. Rogers, got on tape saying TEA was forcing the move at T.H. Rogers and wrongfully disrupted our schools by removing our principals. Received $1.1 billion in ESSER funds from the federal government, but that money has not made it to the school level. Refused to provide support to most of the lowest performing schools, and has a verified plot to close Black schools, and has exhibited behavior that shows he doesn't have the mental capacity to be the superintendent of the Houston Independent School District. We're going to have to get past the symbolism on this one, guys. I understand that he's a Black man and I look like I'm Black some days, but God damn it, I'm good at what I do. When you're Black and you're horrible, you need to go away. When you're Black and you're insufficient, you're inadequate, you need to go away. When you're Black and you can't do the job, you need to go away. But when he goes away, take your deputy superintendent with you, with his good game and ass. Yeah, remember, I get to say what y'all can't say. He's a con man. He is a con man. So I wanna stop this screen. Let's open another screen. Let's share the screen. Rick Cruz. Okay, hold on a second. All right. Before I go into that, I want to say that I got it wrong last night. Rick Cruz does have a teacher certification, but I don't give a fuck. That still does not help him with what he's trying to do to our children. So in case you didn't know, this is an article about what Rick was doing before he was the deputy superintendent. Hold on. Rick Cruz, Ivy League 101, helping more high-achieving, low-income students apply to the best colleges. In the United States, we think our country is metrocracy. If you work hard, you'll get ahead. Metrocracy, whatever. Democracy, metrocracy. That's not always true for some students. Recent research shows that about 35,000 high-achieving, low-income students don't apply to top colleges, even though they have the grades to get in. To get into a top college, let's make sure that you can see that. Yeah, you can see it. To get into a top college, the student needs good grades and solid test scores. Then there's the personal essay that some say is even more important. Edward Avina is a senior with a 4.0 GPA at DeBakey High School. He's working on the 5th draft of his college essay. It's about how he works cutting grass. According to the young man, I cut ignoring my parched throat, which begs for hydration. I cut away at the uneasiness, forgetting in this moment of toil my father's state of health. I cut trying to dig my mother out of a mound of hospital bills. He's reading his essay to a classmate. They're both from immigrant families. I have fended for my family working outside endlessly, cutting through the thickets of life's hardships. In the eyes of my father, I am my own man. Edgar is 17 years old, and at first he wanted to attend a regional university like Texas Tech. Now his dream school is Yale, where he hopes to study engineering. Students like Edgar should be strong candidates for top colleges, but they aren't, according to recent research. Chris Avery, a professor of policy at Harvard University, it's still the case your income and your background are strong predictors of where you will end up in college. Avery and other professors from Stanford University, Caroline Hoxley, look at where students from affluent families and students from low-income families with the same academic credentials apply to college. They found that low-income students are much less likely to apply to the country's most selective schools. In fact, only 8% of those high-achieving, low-income students act like their wealthier peers and apply to selective schools. What's at stake really is not necessarily the prestige of going to a fancy, well-known selective college, but just the fact selective colleges tend to support their students better, and they tend to have more resources, and students are more likely to graduate. Avery said these students, top colleges have so much financial aid, they end up being cheaper than less selective schools. And there's a stereotype that top colleges are for rich kids. Edgar says, here's another more personal reason students don't apply. Many kids in Hispanic families aren't allowed to go out of state because families want to keep them close. Personally, for me, I'm applying to one Texas school. I told my mom I'm drawing a 500-mile circle and I want to get out of it. Him getting expert help from a new initiative in the Houston Independent School District. It's called Emerge. It's like a private college consulting or Ivy League 101. And Rick Cruz was over Emerge. As you can see, that's him right there. We have students at Harvard, Tufts, at Dartmouth, Oberlin, and MIT. That's Rick Cruz, an assistant superintendent in Houston. He started the program 3 years ago as a volunteer project. Now Cruz and a team of advisors are coaching some 300 kids at more than a dozen schools. So when you see other students like them who've done it, it really changes the sense of possibility and sets the bar higher. Students get SAT prep. They visit college campuses. They get one-on-one mentoring and lots of help with their personal essay. They're encouraged to reach for the top schools with generous financial aid. In the picture, let's go back. In the picture, you see the black guy, August Hamilton. Really great guy. That's Rick Cruz. That was his quote unquote boss when he was with Emerge. And August used to work at Jack Yates Senior High School. And August used to deal with our computers and make IDs. Now, August is the executive assistant to the superintendent of HISD, and August makes over $200,000 a year. I wonder if August went through a program like Emerge. Let me tell you something about a program like Emerge. I had this conversation with a principal who wanted to taunt that one of his kids from the year prior, one of his kids from the year before, hold on, man, was at Yale. Black school where I'm having this conversation. So I say out of all the kids that graduated, you're going to tell me about the kid that went to Yale. Can you tell me how many of them went to the block? And how many of them went to stripper poles? See, in order to be in this Emerge program, according to what I was reading earlier, you had to have at least a 4.2 GPA. If you got that kind of GPA in the Houston Independent School District, you're probably in the top 10% of your class. And if you're in the top 10% of your class in the state of Texas, you can go to college for free. So here's my question. When the fuck Prairie View stopped being a viable option? Rick? Hell of an engineering program. When the fuck TSU stopped being a viable option? Great law school. When did SBCUs or small colleges stop being a viable option? So if you want to tell me about maybe 6 or 7 kids, you feel what I'm saying, that go to Ivy League schools, but you can't have the discussion about how many kids ain't even go to school, they end up dead on, for every 6 or 7 that you send to Ivy League schools, I got 6 or 7 that die in the streets 2-3 months after they graduate because they didn't learn shit. When are we going to take care of the students that were like me in high school? Right around that 2.0, 2.5 GPA. And it didn't work. I want to put this up here so y'all can see this. My Tony, I had a student in Emerge who wanted to go to PV, which is a hell of a choice. And the Emerge advisor told them to apply to UT instead. She dropped out her sophomore year. Let's get something straight, big homie. What your Emerge program did was discriminate against the middle of the ground students. What you did was try to exploit some poor kids so you could look good, and they could, in the same way they could apply to an Ivy League school. You feel what I'm saying? They can apply to any school. Anytime that young man who's on his 5th draft of his essay and he's in your program, something wrong with your advisors, big homie. 5th draft. So you walk around and you act like you're saving black kids. Motherfucker, you ain't. And you ain't did enough to save them all. Do you have a program for the middle of the ground student that may have just the right grades to go to junior college? Let me put it up there. Coach Andre Hayes. When you get a diploma, when you at a diploma mill and you have a 3.0, 3.8 GPA, but still not score high enough on the SAT to get into D1 schools. There it is right there. Maya says getting them in is one thing, preparing them to stay in and graduate is another. See, but they only want the numbers that make them look good to get them in. So let me ask you, Rick, how many kids did you help get to PV, to Southern, to Lamar University, University of Texas in San Antonio? How many of them did you help to get in, just get into school, motherfucker? How many of them did you help? Or were you exploiting these poor kids because out of all these graduates, you get 6 or 7 to go to a fucking Ivy League school? Ain't nothing wrong with getting an Ivy League education either. But ain't nothing wrong with getting a Texas Southern University education too. Oh, do you have a bunch of Ivy League motherfuckers applying to HISD? Is that something you want to taunt? Does your superintendent have an Ivy League education, Rick? I don't know what education you got, but you ain't been nothing but an elementary school teacher. And you's a fuck up doing that, and you'll fuck up as a deputy superintendent. I don't give a fuck where they go to school, dude. As long as they go and they stay. Y'all have used these kids. You know, y'all got so many ways of using our children. This G Unit 50 Cent lab. Where them kids' money at, man? From them projects they did. I get it with what you're saying, Terry. I get it. You know, let me start here, man. He says, but it's just as much our fault as parents because we don't join the PTA and PTO. Parents are not checking Power School, which show these kids' grades daily. I get it. But when they go to that building for 8 hours, whose job is it to educate them? You can put whatever you want in your kid. But once they leave that house and they go into school, who's responsible for that education at that point? See, what we can't do is keep acting like these people are not at fault for the demise of these children. I applaud any child that's going to an Ivy League school. But I salute any child that's just trying to get out the neighborhood and just go to college in general. If they go over there to HCC, I don't give a damn. I'm just as proud of them as if they went to an Ivy League school. And they're not a failure because they went to PV, TSU, Southern University, Jackson State. They're not a failure. You know, you get more support. How much fucking support you get if they go to UT and they flunk out as a sophomore? College is real. And we're not making the high school experience a real experience. See, because in high school, you, at the end of the day, get to take your tests over and over and over and over. In college, that shit ain't flying, man. When I had to figure out what school I wanted to go to, I called Coach Andre Hayes. He told me, man, go to Central. What's the name of the college, Coach Andre Hayes? I done forgot where I got my associate's degree from. But it's in I forgot, Killeen. This is where I got my associate's degree in criminal justice, and now I'm almost done with my bachelor's. But he gave me a great school to go to. And I'm exceeding the expectations at Central Texas College. That's where he told me to go. And that's what I did. And, you know, it acclimated me. It got me back into the mode of going to school. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm there, I'm looking at my GPA earlier, and I say I'm going to graduate summa cum laude. I am. I'm going to pull it off. I'm shooting for the highest. But anytime a kid can't write an essay after 5 tries, how good is that program? Stop acting like you saved black kids because you didn't. You didn't save black children with the Emerge program. You used the Emerge program as a means to move your ass up because that's what Greer told you to do. That's what Greer told you to do. So you ain't saving our black kids. You ain't even saving your Latino kids. Matter of fact, you don't give about kids. You don't give a fuck about kids at all anyway. It is what it is, big homie. I'm going to say this, man. The Houston Independent School District is the worst school district in the country. I don't give a damn what nobody tell me. I've tried to not, go there. But this is the worst ran school district in the country. It's a school district that doesn't give a fuck about anybody's child. The only people that seem to get a quality education in the Houston Independent School District is the superintendent's kids and the trustees' kids. All the rest of us is potluck for us. All the rest of our children is potluck for us. And the saddest thing is, nobody seems to give a damn. Nobody seems to give a damn. I hope that one day the karma that is coming to you comes to you. And it's coming. I pray that our kids get some people that care about them. I pray that the trustees will come together for once and do what's right for these kids. The bottom line is, if there is no future with these kids, there is no future for America. Coach Andre Hayes says, I also have a nursing program that is helping my students go from high school to nursing school, and is paid in full if they can score 1,000 on the SAT. If they can score 1,000 on the SAT. That's phenomenal. But you know what? Coach Andre Hayes has always had a heart for children. And he's had a heart for Black kids, Latino kids. He labored in parks, teaching them the game of football, teaching them brotherhood, teaching them respect. That's the type of guy I like being around. But for those that just want to use them for money, use them for data, those are the ones we need to watch. Those are the wolves in sheep clothing. Those are the ones that don't care about our children. And I know for a fact that they don't care about our kids because the shit that they do don't make sense. Give you an example. Like the IB program at Yates and the IB program at Cullen, y'all can take that shit, and wherever you brought it from, you need to take that shit back where it came from. You're not funding it right. We don't have the teachers to run it. They can't get their associate's degrees before they graduate or when they graduate. You've not done anything to make these programs thrive. There's a building at Cullen Middle School that needs to be built out. And you can use that for something. You can use it for technical. You could use it for cosmetology. But you know what the district said? We're not going to do it. It costs too much money. One little temporary building. When you running around this motherfucker giving money to affluent schools, like you throwing money in the strip club, but anything that can enhance the educational experience of Black and brown kids or poor kids in general, you never seem to have the money to do it. And you want us to believe and trust you when you say you care about the welfare of all students. You are a goddamn lie. You don't care about kids, but you care about yours. So if you want to know why I'm protesting, if you want to know why I'm going to get down for my crown, it's because of shit like that. We are tired of the fucking excuses. We want what we want. We want what our tax money has paid for, which is a quality education for our children. And if Rick Cruz and Miller House II can't provide that, then get your shit and get the fuck on. I said what I said, and I stand on it. I am happy to say what you guys can't say. I am my own man. I'm happy to say what you guys can't say because I work for myself. I'm happy to say what you guys can't say because ain't nobody gonna stop me from saying shit. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from doing what the fuck I want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I mean what I say. There's warning signs before the heart attack. Dr. Muhammad taught me that. It's warning signs before the heart attack. But once the heart attack comes, you ain't getting no goddamn warning signs. Your heart attack is on the way. Because enough is enough. It's time to send house to the house. I agree with you. My man says poor leadership at the top leads to poor outcomes at the bottom. So if you're wondering why these schools are struggling, it's because of the leadership at the top. They too busy trying to get their friends software contracts and trying to give us all these guinea pig ass curriculums that they're fucking our children off every day. I will never celebrate the Houston Independent School District. I'll celebrate these babies and these kids. I will never celebrate a rogue school district who is the only purpose has been to destroy poor children. Whether those kids are black, white, Latino, doesn't matter. Their goal is to destroy poor children. Yeah. And you think that we really don't know. And here's the crazy part. You glad that they don't know. You hate the fact that I do. I know what you're doing, and I know how you're doing it. I have no respect for a whole bunch of you black folks in position of power in HISD. But your karma is coming. Your heart attack is coming. Your warning signs are now. But your heart attack is coming. I despise you, Rick. And if I saw you get in a real bad accident and I was the only person around and you needed CPR, I wouldn't give it to you. Because I know what you've done and I know what you plan on doing. Your soul is corrupted. Your soul is distorted. God does not have a place for you upstairs when you're done. You have a lot of atoning to do. You as well as your sellout superintendent. God ain't gonna want nothing to do with y'all. Trust me when I tell you. Your karma is coming. It's the war zone. And I'm the 5-star general. And as I said before, we figured out Rick has a certification. Fuck Rick Cruz. Tell him I said